Hey guys, Eternize here. Today is going to be a special episode because I've dug up my very first tracks I've ever produced and we're going to listen to them together. These are tracks I've made 18 years ago and half of them I cannot even remember because none of them have ever been released anywhere, so they're going to be as fresh to me as they are to you. So outside of the fun we're going to have listening to them together, I think it can be a learning experience as well. And this is the primary reason I want to share them with you. I think this is a great way of managing expectations to, kind of see a real world example of the progression you can expect to make as a new producer. It obviously varies from individual to individual and it also greatly depends on how much help you're getting from the outside. But in my example, what we're going to look at, this is the journey of the first 5 years of producing music, and it was entirely without any help, not even from the internet, so keep that in mind. Alright, let's listen to the first track. This is from 2008, meaning I've been making music for about half a year at this point. Alright, so again, this is after half a year of producing. We have a very basic setup with a simple melody, a one layer lead here, and not a lot of progression in the melody and just keeping it basic. So I think this is what you can expect after half a year. Let's go ahead and listen to the next track. Alright, a little more tempo on this one. Alright, so we have some obvious use of samples here, which is completely fine after half a year. You can't expect to make all sounds on your own. And this is the case for both of the tracks. The kicks consists of combining samples and, it's a kick and a reverb space essentially. So I think the only reason I'm making this type of kick is the fact that I'm not able to make my own pitched kicks at this point. Pitched kicks was a thing at this time, 2008, so I do think the next track though is me trying to make my first pitched kick, so let's listen to that one. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that was my first attempt ever of making a pitched kick, so it is what it is. I think to see the progression in general within that year, 2008, I think the melody and, the lead itself is getting better, but is still on a very basic level. Also keep in mind that I, at this point, have very limited resources, meaning I just started out in FL Studio and I only had what came with FL Studio. No third-party plugins or anything like that like you would have today. Alright, let's jump to the next track, which is from 2010, so we are jumping 1 or 2 years forwards now. Alright, seems like I got better at the pitched kick at this point. We also see some variations in the melody and some kick effects here and there. Things are obviously progressing. Also just the melody is more interesting, the lead is more interesting. We're no longer just sitting at one layer leads. So yeah, everything is getting a bit of a lift here. Let's listen to the next track. Alright, yet again, I think we can see a lift of pretty much all of the elements. I think the kick and the melody here is the highlight. I think the kick after 2 years, this is pretty impressive. I think the kick, the melody, and the lead sound is fitting very well together. We have a more complex melody, and you know, the whole atmosphere in this break part is pretty well made, I'd say. Yeah, so everything seems to progress nicely from track to track here. Nice and steady progression. Alright, let's go to the next track. We are now in 2011, so this is 3 years after I started producing music. Ooh. Now we're talking. Nice effect there. Some vocals. Now we are talking. It's a very dark track. I really like the grit of it. Outside of the mixdown being a little, you know, it's very distorted in the drop. But outside of that, the atmosphere is great. We have a clear lift in like overall quality of the elements. The lead sound is fitting the melody very well. Yeah, it's just a clear progression from the year prior. So very impressive track. Let's go to the next one. Some nice effects here and there.
I was lost, but music helped me find my way.
was again a super well produced track here. I've started to introduce a lot of, nice sounding effects and just some ear candy here and there. And again, the lead and the melody is so well fitting together. The kick is very impressive here. We have a lot of extra effects, such as kick effects, which I really love in this track. As the drop progresses, we also see a progression in elements. Elements are being introduced. Everything is flowing very nicely here, and so production quality is very high here. And again, this is 3 years after starting producing. I could not remember this one. It's very unique track as well. It's very impressive. All right, so I think at this point I started to explore other musical genres. Up until this point, I've only produced hardstyle. So now I think I start producing a load of other type of genres. So let's see if the production quality can keep up. Let's listen to this one. So this is some tech house. Very groovy. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, so the production quality definitely carried over into these other genres, at least on this track. We're gonna listen to the rest, of course. Super groovy track here, very high production quality in general. Keep in mind, this is the first time I'm starting to produce other genres than what I've started out producing up until this point. Let's listen to the next track. So this is apparently some progressive house. Of course, progressive house being very big in this time period. Oh, that's heavy. And we have the drop variation here. Yep, another very well produced track. Every sound is just very crisp and clear. And again, this is a progressive house track, which was big at that time. I think objectively speaking, this is definitely up there with, release ready quality. So very impressive track, also very unique elements, and the drop hits hard and, very well produced track, I'd say. Next track is a ravey kind of techno track. Okay, so exploring some completely different genres here, still obviously electronic music, but a very different genre, very different elements to be produced here. But nonetheless, very high quality. Again, every element is crystal clear and loudness levels are high, and just another well-produced track in another genre again. So we're starting to see a lot of different genres here. So this is perhaps 6 or 7 different subgenres of electronic music. So I'm starting to collect a lot of knowledge from all of these individual genres, and I think it has really benefited me not only on my journey here with making music in different genres, but also for now, the genre I'm set in for hardstyle. I bring a lot of techniques and knowledge from all of these different genres that I've produced early in my career. All right, let's jump to the next track. I believe this is a pop EDM track. So you might recognize the vocals on this track and some of the other tracks we're gonna listen to. And this is because in this time period I was entering a lot of remix competitions, and the remix was of, popular tracks at the time. I was winning a lot of these competitions, and these are some of those tracks. These tracks are all from, the same period around 2011, 2012, 13. So it's just to show the variety of tracks I was producing at the time. Let's listen to the next one. This is a way more energetic track. Way harder. Once again, well-produced, hard-hitting track here, another EDM genre. For the next track, we're diving into some dubstep, I believe, so that's going to be interesting. Let's listen to it. Very nice sound design here. Alright, so really diving into some unique sound design here in a, once again, completely different genre, dubstep. Yeah, impressive quality of the sounds and the track and, the balance of things. Yep, not bad at all. Alright, for the last couple of tracks, we're jumping a few years forward. These are the last couple of tracks I want to show in this, 5-year time period. So let's see what they have to offer. That is a banger, holy shit. Well, it's called Holy Shit, so I do remember making this one. I don't know why I never submitted it to, any labels or anything, because this one is really a banger. That drop is hitting so hard, holy shit. That one is hitting hard, man, damn. Alright, let's listen to the last one.
Oh, but it's over. It's over before it gets started.
A bit of a different style here, but that atmosphere and the drop and everything coming together, it just sounds so good, man. Very emotional, this track. Love the sound of that. Honestly, these tracks are really well produced. After 3 to 5 years, this is really impressive. And thinking about this might be at the upper end of what you can expect. Again, this was me being entirely on my own, no external help. I mean, YouTube wasn't even a thing when I started out. Now, if you have help like education or a mentor, I think you can expect to progress faster than this. And that's also why I am creating masterclasses at the moment and offer mentorship. Because I really think that If you're serious about making music, the best investment you can make is getting help as early as you can. You can literally skip years of trying to figure things out on your own with the right help. Maybe you can place yourself in this 5-year progression and, compare yourself to how far you've come. This shows that the first couple of years are tough, but then things are getting easier and you really start seeing results after 3 years. This was a fun experience for me, and I hope you've learned something about managing expectations. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.